What's up, everybody? This is Ben. Wanted to give you a quick update here on the market, and I just wanted to really focus on Bitcoin because it affects our alts so much. And I wanted to point out something here that I thought was interesting. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. Um, as you can see, all of my trend lines that I've drawn, I draw them way out into the future, and then I like to see them come back and interact with them way later. Tends to always do that, um, especially on the daily. I mean, every one of these candles is a day, so this is a long period of time here. This is early December. So back in early December, I drew this line from here just up to this candle. I was tracking it daily on this little up climb, and I kind of drew it out into this area. And then the days went on, and as it went on, I drew it out a little more. And then it came down, and sure enough, it tagged this line perfectly. And kind of just cemented in my mind that this is an area of support and a pretty significant trend line, especially because it's the daily chart. And then I drew it out a little more, and then Bitcoin made this big rise, and uh, I kind of forgot about this trend line down here. It was so far below the price action on the hourly, you couldn't even see it. It was so far below everything, it just wasn't even there. And so tonight I'm looking through things and I see this line kind of stopped here. And I thought, I'm going to go ahead and draw this on out, way out into the future. And really noticed the moves that Bitcoin made as it interacted with this trend. So obviously the first one was here, way back when we were trying to break through 20,000. Um, and it finally did, and boom, we had this big move up, right? And then Bitcoin, over a period of 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, drops down, hits our trend line. And then what happens when it hits this trend line? Boom. The next big impulse happens and gets us to our next all-time high. Now here's where it gets a little weird, because we drop down again here, but we did not make it to our trend line. It's kind of like an HBAR on the hourly chart, where we talked about that correction not coming down to an area where it probably should have, in order to collect enough buy orders to make it go to the next step. So it didn't come down. It went up. It did put in another higher high, but it was nothing to write home about. It's pretty lackluster. It fell right through, and now here we are now. So what I'm throwing out there is, I think this is our line. I think this is what we have to hit to make our next big move in Bitcoin, which means making our next big move in all of our altcoins as well. The question is when it happens. Does it happen tomorrow on a giant candle? If so, we'd be coming down into the low 40s. Do we finally get a bounce and this kind of messes around in here for a few days and then it comes down? Well, then we're in, mid 40s. Does it even bounce around more, and then finally come down and tag it and stick right around 50,000, you know? I think this is a really important line to watch. It's going to affect all of our coins that we're in. Honestly, I would love to see this thing drop over the next couple days quickly and hit this support, so that it brings the alts down and we can fill all of our buys that we're trying to get filled. So I'm kind of hoping this happens quickly, and then we see a very big reaction off of it, just like we've seen every other time that it's interacted with this trend. The problem is, for me, if you go to the hourly, I really expected more from Bitcoin after these big drops, when it hits these massive areas. 52,000 is a big number for it, and in around the 50,000 zone, I expected bigger moves here, and they didn't happen. So what does that mean? Are we gonna just kind of sit here and kind of consolidate down here, or does it mean we're gonna just keep stepping down until buyers step up? You can see the same trend line here. The question is when. When does it come down and we hit our trend so that we can make another big move up? So I think that's important and something everybody should be watching. Let's look at HBAR real quick. Same, nothing's changed for me here. I'm expecting Bitcoin to make that drop. The longer it takes, probably means that we won't go as low, if that makes sense. Because if it takes longer, it means Bitcoin's not going to drop as low to that trend line, which means this won't drop as low either. So there's no problem with starting to scale in if you want to. This wick here, this last deepest candle, full disclosure, I did feel a nice bid on. I think I had it set. I know I had it set at 28.28, and I'm pretty sure on Binance it hit 28.26. So I barely got an order. My very top order filled. It's been there for weeks. I have a lot of other orders through here that I have not moved. So I'm still staying steady on that. And I'm hoping that this Bitcoin action here comes quickly, and hits this trend. And if it does, it's gonna fill us up on our other orders. A couple other quick coins I just wanted to throw out there. VTHO has been very interesting to me. Without getting into too much detail, it's just the structure of it is so strong, and it's holding up very well against Bitcoin. Something that I would look at, do some research on, scale in a little if you want. I have some orders down in this area if the Bitcoin drop happens quicker. That's one, and then the other one is one. And I think I tweeted about it when it was about right here. And again, full disclosure, I put an order in here and woke up the next morning to this big move up. And just like VTHO, one has been really holding up well against Bitcoin, surprisingly well. So if Bitcoin does do that quick drop, then I could see this coming down, maybe to this support, and you could get filled, all the way down through here, or you could just start scaling in now. There's no guarantee, we can look at the charts and we can make I don't want to say predictions because I don't like to do predictions. We can make educated guesses on support levels, where we think this is going to go. But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. So the prices, for these alts are low. I think now we've taken a big hit from the highs. They've been sitting on there for a while. I think this trend line on Bitcoin is very important to watch, and something to really just keep your eyes on, because it's going to determine the prices that we can get on our other altcoins. So I don't think it's when, or I don't think it's if it hits this trend line. I just think it's when. And when it does, I believe, because of looking at it on a higher time frame here, I believe when it hits that's our next move. Here it is here, big impulse up. Check it here, big move up. We didn't check it here, so we got a lackluster move. We're coming back down. We're gonna check this. This is it. This is what I think. So this is what I'm watching. The big question is just when it happens. If it takes a couple weeks, that means it's not going to drop as far when it hits this, which means our alts won't either. So keep an eye on this. Watch these levels, 52,000, 50,000. Those are big levels for Bitcoin. If it goes under 50, it could go quickly down to this level because people start seeing 40s and they freak out. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm watching. Hopefully that helps you guys. Um, I'm excited. It's starting to happen. We've dipped in here twice. I got one order filled, but we'll see what happens. And obviously, everything depends on Bitcoin. So hang in there, watch those levels, and let's make a lot of money. Peace out.